Imagine standing in the center of a busy city, cars rushing past, people talking, screens flashing, life unfolding in every direction, and then without warning, everything stops. A glass of water freezes midair. A bird hangs motionless in the sky. Shout becomes silent, trapped between breath and echo. Every heartbeat on earth halts, except yours. Tonight, we step into a reality where time itself collapses, and you become the only moving life form in a world suspended in absolute stillness. Time is the one force that never pauses, never negotiates, never compromises. It flows unceasing, unstoppable, dragging everything with it. But what if it didn't? What if for the first time in human history, time refused to move? Not for a second. Not for a minute, but indefinitely. Everyone around you remains locked in a perfect snapshot of the last moment they lived. Their eyes frozen, their lungs still, their thoughts unfinished. You alone remain awake, aware, alive. This is not just a story of loneliness. It is a story of physics, biology, human psychology, civilization, and the terrifying truth of how much we depend on the relentless march of time. Tonight we explore the question, what if time froze for everyone, except you? To understand this world, we must define the rules. In this scenario, time halts for every living thing except you. All physical processes tied to time also freeze. Air particles stop moving. Chemical reactions cease. Light itself holds still unless it comes directly from you. The world becomes a silent, unmoving sculpture. You, however, continue normally. Your senses work, your body functions, your mind races. But everything else, the entire planet has entered a state beyond sleep, beyond death, beyond anything science has ever witnessed, a universe where motion has died. Now, step inside that impossible moment. Before we walk into this world, we must understand what time truly is. Time is motion. Every breath you take, every shadow you see, every thought you think exists because atoms move, electrons spin, molecules vibrate, freeze time, and all movement ceases. Light stops traveling. A beam of sunlight entering your room freezes midair like a golden sculpture. Shadows stop shifting. Darkness and light become solid forms. Air becomes solid. Not literally ice, but still, each molecule locked in position. If you try to move through it, it feels like pushing against something thicker than stone. You would suffocate unless the bubble around you includes a small pocket of time flow, allowing air to move only near your body. So we must assume. You carry your own tiny zone of normal physics. A thin sphere of air, gravity and light that moves with you. Beyond that bubble, absolute stillness. Sound dies, because sound is vibration, and vibration requires time. The world becomes silent, not quiet, but empty. Human bodies freeze, not cold, not dead. Just paused, frozen at the molecular level. No decay, no aging, no harm. As if the world is holding its breath. This is the environment you now inhabit. A universe divided into two rules. Your reality and everyone else's. Humanity has always imagined moments like this. In ancient myths, gods froze time to punish, protect, or test mortals. In literature, time freezes reveal character, not physics. In film, time stops to create wonder, not consequences. But science offers a harsher truth. General relativity tells us time is tied to gravity. Quantum physics shows time depends on energy and motion. Entropy says time always moves forward, never backward, never still. A true stop in time violates every known law of the universe. Yet here we are inside a world where the laws have changed. Science can't explain it. History can't prepare you for it. And psychology, it's maybe your greatest enemy. Now, we move through the sequence. The first hour, the first day, the first year. Alone in a motionless earth. At first, you think it's a blackout, a malfunction, a dream. You call out, but your voice falls into dead silence. You touch a frozen person. They feel normal, warm, alive, but unresponsive. You wave your hand in front of a bird suspended mid-flight. It doesn't move. A car hangs mid-intersection. The driver frozen in a moment of turning the wheel. And when you try to run, you feel the strange resistance of unmoving air, like moving through invisible syrup. Confusion becomes terror, and terror becomes the realization of truth. Time has stopped. You have not. You quickly discover that the world cannot help you. Stores don't open. Phones don't work. Electricity stays on temporarily, but eventually the grid will collapse because all time systems freeze. You search for answers, but there are none. You ration food, you find water. You move carefully through frozen objects. Human beings are statues, their final thoughts etched into their faces. And the silence, the endless silence begins to push against your mind. Nature begins to warp. Clouds do not move. Wind does not blow. Oceans freeze not into ice, but into stillness. Leaves hang motionless in the air. A falling tree remains suspended, mid-collapse. Cities look normal, but wrong. Too perfect, too still. Without time, the world becomes a painting, a flawless illusion. You begin speaking out loud, not to anyone, just to hear something human. You realize that sound only exists because you create it. Your footsteps, your voice, your breath. The earth no longer participates in your existence. Psychology becomes your battlefield. Human beings are not designed for total isolation. Your brain craves interaction. It needs feedback. It needs change. But the world no longer provides it. You stop expecting the frozen people to respond, but you can't stop talking to them, even though their expressions never shift. Loneliness becomes your shadow. You begin wandering further, city to city, country to country. Travel is easier now, with no traffic, no schedules, no movement. But it's meaningless. Everywhere you go, it's the same stillness, the same silence. It's the same frozen moment in time. You ask yourself, is this still Earth? Or something else entirely? A year alone rewrites your identity. You no longer think in minutes, hours, days. Time ironically no longer feels real. With no society, no clocks, no movement, and your sense of past and present blurs, you become a watcher. A traveler in a world without motion. You explore laboratories, libraries, archives. You read endlessly, learn skills, study everything humanity has created while humanity sleeps. You begin repairing systems manually, creating windmills and mechanical devices that don't rely on time-sensitive electronics. You craft a life from the ruins of stillness. But you know something undeniable. You cannot bring the world back. And you cannot join the world that remains frozen. You live in a fracture of reality, neither part of the old world, nor a creator of a new one. You are a ghost in a universe where only you can move. If time froze, for everyone except you, you would survive. But survival is not the same as living. You would become the last conscious witness of humanity. Not at its end, but at its pause. A caretaker of a world in suspended animation. A guardian of a civilization that does not know it is gone. Time defines us, shapes us, moves us. It is the silent companion in every moment of our existence. And without it, we lose more than motion. We lose meaning. We're creatures of change. It's creatures of progress. Creatures of time. Move that, and humanity becomes a memory. The real question is not what you would do in a frozen world. The real question is, what are we without time? If time can stop once, could it stop again? If this scenario challenges the limits of reality, then prepare for a question even more unsettling. What if you woke up one day, and you were the only person left on Earth? Stay curious. The next What If awaits.